कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपी जना बल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जना बल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन
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 यमुनातीरावनचारी
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 जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा दामोदर राधे जय राधा दामोदर राधे Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev. हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनतमशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Hare Krishna. So this is a new chapter we are starting today, chapter 14, the three modes of material nature. One of the most important chapter in Bhagavad Gita. So you can repeat after me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuya Prabhakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yagyatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhim Nito Gata Param Bhuya Prabhakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yagyatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhim Nito Gata Param Bhuya Prabhakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yagyatva Munaya Sarve Param Siddhim Nito Gata. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Param, transcendental, Bhuya, again, Prabhakshami, I shall speak, Jnananam, of all knowledge, Jnanam, knowledge, Uttamam, the Supreme, Yat, which, Jnatva, knowing, Munaya, the sages, Sarve, all, Param, transcendental, Siddhim, perfection, Ita, from this world, Gata, attained. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained the supreme perfection. You can repeat after me. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said,
Again,
Again,
I shall declare to you
I shall declare to you
this supreme wisdom,
this supreme
the
wisdom,
best of all knowledge,
the best of all knowledge,
knowing which
knowing which
all the sages
all the sages
have attained
have attained
the supreme perfection.
the supreme perfection.
Purport. From the 7th chapter to the end of the 12th chapter, Sri Krishna in detail reveals the absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the Lord Himself is further enlightening Arjuna. If one understands this chapter through the process of philosophical speculation, he will come to an understanding of devotional service. In the 13th chapter, it was clearly explained that by humbly developing knowledge, one may possibly be freed from material entanglement. It has also been explained that it is due to association with the modes of nature that the living entity is entangled in this material world. Now, in this chapter, the Supreme Personality explains what those modes of nature are, how they act, how they bind, and how they give liberation. The knowledge explained in this chapter is proclaimed by the Supreme Lord to be superior to the knowledge given so far in other chapters. By understanding this knowledge, various great sages attained perfection and transferred to the spiritual world. The Lord now explains the same knowledge in a better way. This knowledge is far, far superior to all other processes of knowledge thus far explained. And knowing this, many attained perfection. Thus, it is expected that one who understands this 14th chapter will attain perfection. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, in this chapter, we are going to learn about the three modes of material nature. How they act, how they bind, and how they give liberation. So this is all about we are going to discuss. And understanding this chapter, understanding this subject matter will help us to become liberated from all entanglement, from all sufferings. The only one condition is there, we should have desire to get liberated. So if we have desire, then Krishna is giving solution to get liberated from all sufferings. So what is the root cause of suffering? What is the root cause of suffering? Desire. And based on that desire?
Attachment?
Huh?
Attachment?
Yes. I mean, attachment to what?
To materialistic desire.
When it comes to desire and attachment, that is always going to be there. We will always have desire, but desire to enjoy material things, material world, that is what the source of suffering. Because when we develop material desire, we take material action, and that action gives a particular result. Either we suffer or we enjoy the result of action. And attachment is what? Attachment is also going to be there eternally. Either we are attached to Krishna or we are attached to material things.
Without attachment, there won't be any desire.
Yes, I mean, further level of means intense desire. Attachment means intense desire to get something. That is. So yes, so the source of suffering is material desire, material attachment. So, and this attachment, how material nature is working, why we develop material desire, or how we are entangled in material world, that is what we are going to understand in this chapter. So the three modes of material nature, that is compared to three ropes. We will understand it in detail. Ropes means, or you can say chain. So three categories of chain, three kinds of chain: iron chain, silver chain, and gold chain. But ultimately, all these are chain which is binding us. Either you are bound with gold chain, silver chain, iron chain, but ultimately you are bound. So we have to get freedom from all these entanglements, from this binding. So how to get free from this binding of material modes, we will learn here. So first of all, Krishna in these two verses, he is glorifying this knowledge. He is idam jnanam upashitya mam sadharmyam agata sargoepi nopi jayante pralayena vyatanchicha. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Because Krishna is transcendental. We are also part and parcel of Krishna. We are also transcendental. But right now we are entangled in this material world. We are bound with the three modes of material nature. But when we understand this knowledge, when we understand how we are bounded over here, or it will help us to get free and achieve our original nature, that is transcendental nature like Krishna. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution. Not born at the time of creation means once we achieve our original spiritual identity, we will not take birth in this material world again, right? Why we are taking birth? Because of material desire. If we have material desire, based on that we are acting, and to get the result, or to enjoy or suffer the result of those actions, we accept body in this material world. But once we achieve our original identity or original form, spiritual form, then there is no question of taking birth in this material world. We will go home, back to God, in the spiritual kingdom, where there is no birth, no death, right? And also, what is mentioned? Disturbed at the time of dissolution. Like it's like death is very painful. You can take it in that way. Death is painful. Dissolution means overall the material dissolution. It's painful process. But when we understand our true nature, when we are in devotional service, engaged in devotional service, even death is not painful. It's a joyful. Even death becomes joyful. Like for material people, death is it's a painful process. Like we see the example of a cat catching a mouse. That is, for material people, death is like mouse, like the cat is catching mouse, killing mouse. But for devotees, because they are ultimately getting liberated from this material entanglement and going back home, back to Godhead. So it becomes a very joyful process. No
I
pain.
didn't get the analogy.
Analogy is like you have seen cat catching a mouse. So for mouse it is death, but the cattle, its child, the same process is there. If you see the cat, how it holds the cattle and the mouse using mouth, right? But the cattle or the child, he is not feeling. He is feeling joy because mother holding the cattle in her mouth, he is feeling joyful. But for mouse, for rat, it is like killing experience, very painful experience. So death, either devotee or non-devotee, both has to go through the death, this process. But the difference is, one is going to suffer a lot, lots of pain, lots of suffering. But devotees, for them, it is liberation. They are getting free from the entanglement of this material world, from this body, right? Which is the cause of, source of suffering. They are getting free and they are going to achieve a spiritual body in a spiritual kingdom. So for them it's a joyful process. That is the goal of life. That is what perfection. Going back home, back to Godhead. So devotees, they are happy here, they are happy after this. Right? They are not, because they are on transcendental platform here in this material world. As long as they are here, they are, because of spiritual practices, they are on transcendental platform. not at all disturbed with the material sufferings, and after giving this body, they are going back home, back to Godhead. So in both ways, they are going to be happy. Mam yonir mahad brahma tasmin garba dadhamyaham sambhava sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. So now Krishna is how the living entity is taking birth, how they are taking place. So the source of who is the source of birth? Brahman. Brahman is like, this is called Mahat Tattva, material substance. The total material substance, all these different elements we studied in chapter 13, all the material elements. You can say collection of all those different material elements. That is called Mahat Tattva. Sum total of all material elements, that is called Mahat Tattva, or we can say Prakriti, nature. So these are different terms, philosophical terms like Mahat Brahma, Mahat Tattva, or Prakriti. But we will understand what is the difference between Prakriti and difference between Mahat Tattva. So, and Brahma, what is that? So in simple word, you just think that it's a sum total of all material elements. To create something, we need some ingredients. So the material ingredients, the sum total of all material ingredients, that is there in Mahat Tattva. So that is the source. Another example, like mother is the source of creation, right? Wherefrom we are taking birth? We are taking birth from the womb of mother. Now the next point, what he is saying, the source of birth is, you can say mother or the Mahat Tattva. And what he is saying, that Brahman, okay, that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata. But where from the soul is coming? Who is the father? So Krishna is father, he will speak about it. So like mother is there, okay, mother means source of birth. Where from means all the elements are there, material elements are there. But without father, the child will not take birth, right? So the father, like Krishna is saying, I impregnate. Brahman means the soul, the living entity enters within the womb of the mother, and then the creation starts. Then the body develops. So this is one topic I was discussing in one of the talk show. No, like this is very important to understand. It's very. So Prabhupada is giving one example. Sometimes people see that everything is happening in material world, so it's happening by chance. No, only the material nature is the source, or material nature is everything. The nature, like mother. Mother, of course, she is the source of all the creation, but she alone is not the source of creation. There is a father. Without father, there is no creation. So that is what Krishna is saying. In next verses, he will speak about Aham Bija Pradapita. I am the seed-giving father. So Krishna is there behind everything, right? So Prabhupada in this giving example, I haven't marked it, but giving example, like sometimes people see that from rice, the scorpion is taking birth from rice. I don't know whether you know about it or not. When in villages they store rice, and sometimes they see a scorpion coming out of it. So they think that it is because of rice the scorpion is coming out of it. It's not like that. Maybe because matter is not the source of life. What we think, first body takes place and then after soul enters. This is what the misconception people have. They think that it is because of body soul exists. No, because of soul body exists. Or the body is creating or taking place because of soul. The elements, all the material elements is always there. But until it comes in contact with soul, creation will not take place. And that soul is entering into the womb of a mother with the help of father. No? Devi, what is that? One shloka which is explaining in Srimad Bhagavatam about it. Karmana daiva netrena jantu deha upapattaye. Uh, and then next line. Istriyam pravishto udaram pumsa red kanashraya. Pumsa means male. In Istriya means female. Istriya udishta udara pravishta udaro. Udar means stomach, the belly. That. So how the soul, the living entity, how it is entering into the womb of mother? Pumsa red kanashraya. This is that through, with the help of, not with the help, through the male sperm, the soul is entering within the womb of the mother, and then creation takes place. This is what I'm just giving an example to understand that whatever is happening in this material or this living entity taking birth, not just because of material elements, but Krishna is saying that I impregnate Brahman, this the living entity, the soul within that nature, material nature, Mahat Tattva, and from there the living entities this creation takes place. And next shloka he is saying, Sarvayoneshu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasam brahma mahad yonir aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Clear? This is the statement Krishna is giving. That all species of life, you talk about human beings, you talk about animals, birds, beasts, plants, all living species. He's saying, made possible by birth in this material nature. They are taking all these, every living entity in this material nature, they are taking birth, or they are, and who is the seed-giving father? Krishna is saying, I am the seed-giving father. So this one concept, Prabhupada is very much, he is clearing that. We should understand that it is without touch of soul, without soul coming in contact with material elements cannot do anything. Another example he is giving, maybe there is a big aeroplane, but unless pilot is entering into it, it will not function, it will not work independently. So a touch of a spirit is required. As long as we have spiritual and that soul within the body, this body is functional. Once the soul is out of this body, body is dead. So matter alone cannot do anything. Life comes from life. This is one book Prabhupada compiled. Life comes from life. So this is one thing, and that life, the source of life is Krishna.
But Prabhuji, how does this soul enters, gives birth to, how does it enter through the person and then material, the body, material element is combined with it and is given, it is given as a partner.
No,
How does it
one
go
is
process?
one process we know that with the help of father, that soul is impregnated within the womb of mother, and then the body is developing within the womb of mother. That is one thing. Now your question
How
is
does the father gets?
how that is the question to
origin?
understand.
How does it?
Where from the soul is entering?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is another question: how soul enters means how it is taking place within father, or that is sperm, whatever. So it is mentioned in scripture that through grains, annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyo annasambhava. The living entity enters. That's why what kind of food we take, that is very, very important. Grain. Means from rain, we see annat bhavanti bhujani annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat annasambhavo. Parjanyo means rain, rainwater. Without rainwater there is no grain, right? So with the help of rain, soul enters within grain, and the grain, father eats the kind of food stuff we eat, and with the help of that grain, the soul enters within. And through this, the process of you can say impregnation, the soul enters within the womb of mother. So
but
grain.
The mother also eats the grain.
Yes, that's a good question. Another question. But there is a process for everything, right? Process means, because this is the process, through, with the help of male, no, the soul will be transferred. Soul is there everywhere. Soul exists everywhere.
But which grade,
But-
which soul, like a person is getting, so it's like decided
That
by-
is based on the kind of consciousness the person is developing. That's why there are different kinds of samskara. Why Garbhadhan samskar is there? Garbhadhan samskar is especially, this process is to invite a pious soul within the womb. Why this culture we are practicing? Everything is very scientific. What kind of son you want? What kind of, means whatever child you want. You have to develop that kind of consciousness. And that's why it is recommended when the women, if they are pregnant, even before pregnancy, this Garbhadhan samskar, even at the time of conception, this process is just to develop a kind of consciousness which can help to beget a good child. Marriage is a ceremony, and the purpose of marriage is to beget a Krishna conscious child. And that's why throughout our life we have different samskaras. What are these samskaras? These are all purificatory process. Purificatory process means that will help us to purify our consciousness, our heart, and we will become elevated. And the kind of consciousness we have, that kind of child will take place. Now, at the time of conception, what kind of consciousness we have. So that is the science behind the kind of child we develop. And this is very, very important. Of course, once the child takes birth, I mean, this is another subject matter to discuss and very, very important. Why? Because in chapter 1 we could see how Arjuna, he was giving logic, he was giving all details. What will happen if unwanted children will take place? Unwanted children means the children not pious or not following the religious principles. Then there will be chaos in society, because they will not follow the rules and regulations of the prescribed duties. And that will be the cause of chaos in society. That is what we can see. And that is what Srimad Bhagavatam recommending. This is the best duty, or this is the topmost duty of parents, begetting Krishna conscious child. Now, if we are, okay, the part is done, now what is the next? If somehow or other, we were not aware of this knowledge. Now the children are there. So again, what we can do? We can give good association. We can create such Krishna conscious atmosphere wherein at least they can develop some conscious, this Krishna consciousness. So usually, whatever we give in childhood, that is long lasting. That becomes also easy to follow. You see any devotee's family, if the child is taking birth, so many things you know not to teach. They already accept it and they follow it. So otherwise later it becomes difficult to practice or receive. So anyway, the point is, yes, we must understand the science, what we are eating, even what we are, our overall behavior, our thought process, our habits, that everything is impacting our consciousness. And that consciousness is what influencing, that is also impacting others. It's not just me. Personally, we are getting impacted with that, whatever. But others in association with us, they are also affected with our consciousness. And that's why we are developing this Krishna consciousness. We are learning this. So that this way we can make our life perfect and we can help others to make their life perfect. So now Krishna is going to speak about the three modes of material nature. So he is the source, and he is beyond the three modes of material nature, the material nature working under his direction. Now he is saying, Sattvam Rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. So, soul is pure. Soul is being a part and parcel of Krishna, always pure. But when soul comes in this material nature, influenced by the three modes of material nature, because these three modes, this is what material nature. These are the three gunas, the three characteristics, whatever you say. With the help of these three modes, material nature, controlling the living entity in this material world. Everything in this material world is happening because of these three modes. Right? Creation takes place when there is an imbalance between these three modes. Means there is some action between these three modes of material nature. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukh sangena badnati jnana sangena chanagha. O sinless one, the mode of goodness being purer than the others is illuminating, and it frees one from sinful reactions. Right? So this is about mode of goodness. Mode of goodness is superior, topmost. And it is purer, illuminating. Understand, huh? And it frees one from all sinful reactions. Why? Because people in mode of goodness, they are pious people. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. So now we were discussing about all these are different ropes or different chain. We are bounded in this material world with different chain. So it may be gold, it may be silver, it may be iron. So mode of goodness means golden chain. So either somebody is in mode of goodness, still he is bounded. And what is that binding? What is that binding? How somebody in mode of goodness is bounded? So Krishna is saying, conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. Condition means binding. Bounded with sense of happiness and knowledge. So the people in mode of goodness in this material world, because they are living a very sattvic life, very pious life, so they feel very happy. They feel satisfied. And because of that satisfaction, because of that happiness, they are not bothered to get out of this entanglement. They think, okay, anyway, life is going on. It's good, so nice, everything. God has given me so much. And they become bounded with sense of happiness. Yeah. So this is also, we have to understand, because we are in jail. This material world is compared to a jail, right? Or it is compared to a hospital. Either it is a jail or hospital. Nobody wants to stay back, right? We have to come out of it. Like you go to a hospital, Vedanta hospital, and you see so much good facilities are there, so many educated people are there around. Would you like to stay back? Oh, no, keep me here. I don't want to go out. It's not like that. So material world, maybe for me, situation is good, but intelligent people should understand that this situation is good, but for how long? Because this is a temporary world. Very soon it is going to over. This life I have good facility, I have intelligence, I have human body, but what about next? So one should try to utilize time, means whatever opportunities, whatever facilities we have, to get out of this material entanglement, material world, or this jail. So they are bound. So you can read in detail about the different, this chapter is very, very important. If you read the purport in detail, you will have better understanding. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sangam samudbhavam tannibadnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings. So we know mode of goodness is like a pious people, satisfied, they are happy. And mode of passion means born of unlimited desires and longings. People in mode of passion, they have unlimited desire, never ending desires. One desire is fulfilled, next desire. One desire, the next desire. There's always hankering. They want to accumulate more and more. Yes? So, O son of Kunti, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. So because they have lots of desire, so they're always hankering after to get something. Means they will do only when they get something. If they see, no, if they're only, means whatever they do, first they see that what they are going to get, what is for me in it. Without this question, they will not work. So they are always looking for some profit. So this is called fruitive activities. And we know that the result of the fruitive activities is that is reaction of our action. And in this, to fulfill their desire, they do not bother whether they are taking right process or wrong process, right approach or wrong approach, just profit. And many other characteristics, like one characteristics or one, you can say people in mode of passion, they have lots of attraction towards opposite sex. Means male, female, female, male. They always, means they are engaged or they are always thinking about these things. Wealth, money, wine, women, like that. I'll not say wine because, but more attraction is there. Attraction towards opposite sex is there. So very passionate. Tamastvam jnana Tamastva ajnana jam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam Pramadalasya nidrabhi nimadnati bharata. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. So first we discuss about mode of goodness. Second, we discuss about mode of passion. Now Krishna is speaking about mode of ignorance, tamoguna. So what he's saying, the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. Right? So this is about mode of ignorance. Prabhupada is writing. In this verse, the specific application of the word tu is very significant. This means that the mode of ignorance is a very peculiar qualification of the embodied soul. The mode of ignorance is just the opposite of mode of goodness. In mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, one can understand what is what. But the mode of ignorance is just the opposite. This mode of goodness means like people can understand. They know what is right, what is wrong. But people in mode of ignorance, tamoguna, they do not know what is right and what is wrong. Everyone under the spell of mode of ignorance becomes mad, and a mad man cannot understand what is what. Instead of making advancement, one becomes degraded. The definition of the mad of ignorance is stated in the Vedic literature. Under the spell of ignorance, one cannot understand a thing as it is. For example, everyone can see that his grandfather has died, and therefore he will also die. Man is mortal. The children that he conceives will also die, so death is sure. Still, people are madly accumulating money and working very hard all day and night, not caring for the eternal spirit. This is madness. In their madness, they are very reluctant to make advancement in a spiritual understanding. Such people are very lazy. When they are invited to associate for spiritual understanding, they are not much interested. They are not even active like the man who is controlled by the mode of passion. Thus, another symptom of one embedded in the mode of ignorance is that he sleeps more than is required. So understand, these are the characteristics of people or the people in mode of ignorance Prabhupada is explaining. One is, he does not know what is right, what is wrong. No kind of discrimination is there. No? And so madness, Prabhupada is saying madness. What is madness? Madness means not knowing the truth about life. He sees that, okay, people dying, no, but he never bothers about it. He thinks that, okay, I'm going to be eternally here in this material world. Like, this is what madness, not learning. So, and another thing, uh, like laziness. Laziness means what? Means not at all interested in a spiritual life or a spiritual understanding. So these are the things. And sleep. Sleep means, again, this is mode of ignorance, but I was discussing with Rameshwar last time that we have this body and sleep is required. If no, too much sleeping makes you become lazy, and too less sleeping you become crazy. So sleep is required. So, but how much? Like generally it is recommended 5 to 6 hours sleep. It is in mode of goodness. Like you see saintly people, they sleep hardly 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. Even if you have proper timing, as per Artha Shastra, no, not Artha Shastra, like Vedic scripture recommending Ayurveda that sleep between 9 to 12, 3 hours sleep is equal to 6 hours. Means that is quality sleep. And if you go to villages, even still, you will see by 9 o'clock, people, they go to sleep. And without any effort, early morning, 4 o'clock, they will wake up. And this 4 o'clock is a Brahma Muhurta time. Simply, Ayurveda saying that if you simply regulate this habit of sleeping on time, maybe 9:30, and you wake up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, take bath, and then do your spiritual activities, most of the diseases will go away. You will not become diseased. You will be active. And you see ISKCON, we are following the same standard. Early morning, 4:30, there is Aarti, first Aarti. And people means waking up at 3:30, they do their morning routine, and waking up 4:30, they come inside the temple doing Aarti, chanting, dancing. So this morning time is very, very productive, spiritual practices. Because even time, we will discuss in this chapter, even time is how it is affected. Morning time is in mode of goodness. And mode of goodness is conducive, is favorable for spiritual practices. So early morning, if you give it priority and you do your chanting, reading, hearing, right, then everything, rest of the day is going to be perfect. Because this is what the preparation, before going to the battlefield, we are preparing in the morning, early morning. Because why I am saying battlefield? Because throughout the day, you have to fight. You have to fight with your mind. We have to fight with different kinds of people, situations, circumstances. So without preparation, if you enter into the battlefield, you will be defeated. You will be killed. So before that, this morning is preparation. And morning preparation starts from night. I mean, a day in advance, we prepare, okay, next day, let me get ready for that. So before we should prepare in advance. So early morning time, we should try to invest in spiritual practices, because that is what helps to control our mind, to elevate our raise our intelligence, purify our consciousness, and with purified consciousness throughout the day, we can be on a spiritual platform. We can be on transcendental platform, right? So this is very important. So sleep is important, but again, due to some physical issues, if you're sleeping, that is another thing. But somebody who is healthy enough and sleeping more than 10 hours, 12 hours, that is in mode of ignorance. So if you sleep too much, that will make you lazy. Decision-making power you lose that discrimination power. So such a man appears to be always dejected and is addicted to intoxicants and sleeping. So even this is another characteristics of people in mode of ignorance. They take lots of intoxication because their only business is sleeping and eating or satisfying their senses. They think this is life. Whatever means, whatever way You can just satisfy your senses without any discrimination. They want to enjoy eating, so without any discrimination, they will eat anything and everything. Yes? No discrimination at all. That is mode of ignorance. Just for taste, they can eat anything. I remember when I was in corporate life, this the employees there, few of them, they were planning every Saturday or Friday night going out in some restaurant, eating. So somehow, one or two times I remember, I just joined. I was not into that habit, but I was simply to associate with. It was my initial days in Krishna consciousness. I just recently at that time, 2006, I joined. And I could see when they were ordering, they were asking the waiter, what is something special today? Just bring it. And meat eating, they were doing eating flashes. So whatever you bring it. If you think that something is tasty, as per their, so whatever, without asking what exactly this is, they were eating, they were enjoying. A mode of ignorance. So these are the symptoms of a person conditioned by the mode of ignorance. So lots of intoxication, meat eating, just sense gratification is the goal of life, and sleeping. This is mode of ignorance. Now Krishna is summarizing all these three modes in verse number 9. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati raja karmani bharata jnanam avrityatu tama pramade sanjayati yuta. O son of Bharata, the mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Passion conditions one to fruitive action. And ignorance, covering one's knowledge, binds one to madness. So this is a result of the specific modes. Somebody in mode of goodness, he will be happy, bounded with happiness. Mode of passion means fruitive action, fruitive activities. Always working hard without knowing the purpose. That is called like donkey work. There's a carrot behind, in front of a donkey, you see a carrot, just running after that carrot, chasing after that carrot. One day I will get it. Or Prabhupada giving example that you see the donkey so much hard work doing for what? Just for 2 morsels of grass, which is readily available everywhere. He can eat grass, everywhere there is grass, but he is working so hard. So this is what hardcore materialistic people, without knowing the purpose of life, day and night, they are just working hard. Hard work is not bad. Earning lots of money is not bad. All these facilities, not bad. Technology, not bad. The point is not knowing the purpose. Not knowing the purpose behind it. Just accumulating. Right? So that is mode of passion. Even devotees, they are rich. They are having lots of money, they run big businesses. But they know that, how to utilize. They are not mad after that. With their whatever skill, whatever capacity Krishna has given, they are utilizing it for the service. So we must be very much clear. Mode of goodness does not mean that you have to become poor. You have to become no, not like that. Yes, we must know our zero limit. Zero limit is like we must know the minimum need. Every individual, they have their minimum need. Whatever is required, we should try for that. And whatever rest is there, we should utilize for the service or for helping others. Right, that is. Rajastamaschabhibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata raja sattvam tamaschaiva tama sattvam rajastatha. So there is always a competition. Sometimes the mode of goodness becomes prominent, defeating the mode of passion and ignorance. O son of Bharata, sometimes the mode of passion defeats goodness and ignorance, and at other times ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition of supremacy. So understand this point. Means these three modes, mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance, we all have. It's not that somebody is only in mode of goodness, somebody is only in mode of passion, in mode of ignorance. Not like that. All these three modes are always there with us. within us, working upon us. The only difference is sometimes mode of goodness is prominent, sometimes mode of passion, sometimes mode of ignorance. And based on that, we act, we behave. Anger is also is a cause of mode of ignorance. Right? So, yes, there is always a competition between these three. Swarodvareshu dehesmin prakasha upajayate jnanam yada tada vidya dvivriddham satmamiti uta. The manifestation of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. Understand this sloka? The 9 gates. Prabhupada explaining. There are 9 gates in the body. 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, the mouth, the genitals, and the anus. When every gate is illuminated by the symptoms of goodness, it should be understood that one has developed the mode of goodness. What does it mean? Illuminated by the symptoms of goodness? In the mode of goodness, one can see things in the right position. Understand? One can see things in right position. Everybody is seeing. We have these 2 eyes. Everybody is seeing. Then what is the meaning of seeing things in right? Or what is this? See things in right position.
Understanding that everything is in Krishna's,
Yes.
belongs to Krishna.
Yes. Seeing in like truth. Seeing everything in relationship with Krishna. Understanding the true nature of this material world, this material body, or the material temptations. All this knowledge we are getting. That is what seeing in truth. Seeing everything in right position. Right? One can hear things in the right position. All these are different senses, right? Ears, eyes, nose. So, hearing means utilizing, means all these senses when it is when it is being utilized for the right purpose, that is called illuminated. All the 9 gates illuminated. So eyes, that we utilize to see things. What to see, what not to see, we must be very much clear with that. What to hear, what not to hear, we must be very much clear to that. What to eat, what not to eat, there must be a discrimination. That is called illumination. With knowledge, utilizing all these senses, even genitals, there is a purpose. Like materialistic in sense gratification. But we know that, like we were discussing about, marriage is a ceremony to beget a Krishna conscious child. Right? This is the topmost duty. So, one can hear things in the right position and one can taste things in the right position. What to taste? What should we eat? Sattvic. But in Krishna consciousness, what we are learning? Even Sattvic is not enough. We are eating prasadam. Because even Sattvic, or mode of goodness, that is also binding. You will get good result for your pious activities, but ultimately you are going to take birth for that. So only mode of goodness is not enough. But why being in mode of goodness is good? Because mode of goodness is that conducive atmosphere. To practice Krishna consciousness, at least we should first come to mode of goodness. Though Krishna consciousness is not bounded with these modes, Krishna consciousness is transcendental platform. Anybody can practice. By the mercy of Krishna, anybody, even people in mode of ignorance, can be elevated to transcendental platform immediately. But that is mercy. That is the power of devotees' mercy. We see so many people so much contaminated, so much degraded in their habits. But all of a sudden, when they came in contact with Srila Prabhupada, they became very elevated. Pure consciousness. But again, at least gradually, it is recommended that this chapter, why this chapter is giving, Krishna is giving more stress upon, because with this, we can understand our position. Through Bhagavad Gita, we are learning what is the ultimate goal of life. That is Krishna. That is Krishna Prema. That is spiritual kingdom. That is our ideal goal we have to work for. But at the same time, we must know where we are right now. What is our condition? So with the help of these three modes, we can check where we are. Are we in mode of goodness or passion? Which mode is more prominent? Or at least which mode we should be and how we can be in that particular mode. So at least mode of goodness is recommended, because that will help you to practice your spiritual practices. It will become easy to practice. So mode of goodness. So one becomes cleansed inside and outside. Yeah. So when we are in mode of goodness means inside and outside, cleanliness, not just external cleanliness, taking bath, external cleanliness, but internal cleanliness, like chanting, reading, hearing about Krishna, that is internal purification. In every gate, there is development of the symptoms of happiness. So when we lead a life in mode of goodness, then we are going to be happy. When we hear about Krishna, we will feel satisfaction, everything. So, and that is the position of goodness. Lobha pravritti arambha karmanam masha priha rajayetyani jayante vivriddhe bharatarshabha. O chief of the Bharatas, when there is an increase in the mode of passion, the symptoms of great attachment, fruitive activity, intense endeavor, and uncontrollable desire and hankering develop. So these are the characteristics. When we are in mode of passion, these things will develop. Yeah. Passion, great attachment, yeah. Fruitive activity, intense endeavor. This is like devotees are also, they are putting so much effort, they are doing so much endeavor, they are doing. How to understand it? Arjuna, was he in mode of passion when he was fighting?
The beginning he was.
Huh?
The beginning he was in the mode of passion.
No, in the beginning he was showing ignorance. He was ignorant. Bodily concept of likeness, ignorant, because based on the bodily relationship, he was not ready. He was not ready to fight. Oh, they are my relatives. So much emotions for their, my teacher, my grandfather, and he was not ready to fight. Not ready to fight means not ready to fulfill his duty. His duty is to fight against irreligion, but he was not ready for that. So that is called ignorance. But when he got the knowledge, what he said, now, karishye vachanam tav, now I will do whatever you are saying. And he was fighting. So he was fighting, is it in mode of goodness or passion?
Goodness. Pure goodness.
That is in pure goodness. Not pure, yeah. Pure goodness, this is another word. Goodness, and beyond that, there is another level that is called pure goodness. That is called transcendental state. He was transcendental. What is the difference between? How to understand? Mode of goodness and transcendental, or pure goodness.
He surrendered to.
Yes.
There is a surrender.
This is the difference between transcendental and goodness. Goodness may be somebody is doing so good to others, but that is goodness, and that is a cause of binding also. The person will get some pious result, good result, he will enjoy in next life, but ultimately he is taking birth in this material world. And you cannot accept only one side of the coin. When you do good job, good activity, and because of that you take birth in this material world, you enjoy the good result of your action, but you are bound to suffer. Because anybody in this material world, they are bound to suffer. They are bound to go through the cycle of birth, death, old age, disease. And that's why mode of goodness is not enough. So, yeah, the topic we are discussing, externally we may see somebody so much putting so much effort, doing, hankering after something. Like Arjuna, he was fighting enough. He was fighting aggressively. But that was not mode of passion. That was transcendental state. Why? Because he was fighting for Krishna. The difference between mode of passion and that the Arjuna.
Arjuna, when he was fighting, for example, when Abhimanyu was killed, he vowed that he's going to kill Jayadratha the next day without asking Krishna.
Yes.
So there was passion also involved, and then.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because when the difference between, because all these symptoms we are going to see, even you see spiritual masters, they are so angry sometimes. They chastise. But that is what we have to understand. Externally, it will look very similar. But internally means, like, if you take the example of anger, one anger which is controlled anger, like anger for the benefit of others. Like transcendental anger, if you say, a good anger, that is for the benefit of others, and I am not big, or the term, I am not being disturbed by that anger. That is called controlled anger, for the benefit of others. But negative anger, when I want to destroy others. Destroying others means not for the benefit of others, because of my uncontrolled emotions. Negative anger is like uncontrolled emotions I want to destroy. So this kind of anger, Krishna is saying that this is the gateway to hell, right? So that anger,
like जो राजीव जी कह रहे हैं कि वो probably वो revenge या जो भी आप कह रहे हैं, because somebody who killed अभिमन्यु, अगर वो था भी तो that was also following the dharma.
no, that's why I'm saying, that is the difference. Coming to the point, the same thing, you can be angry. Like Hanuman was also angry. He also expressed anger.
He burned the Lanka.
He burned the Lanka. But that anger was not for himself, not for his personal grudges or something. It was for the pleasure of Krishna. So this kind of anger is not material anger, or not in mode of passion. But this kind of anger is transcendental anger. That is what we are trying to understand, right?
Very,
So-
very difficult, na?
No,
I'll again take the example of Arjuna. He decided that he'll immolate himself if he's not able to kill him.
yes.
And when the sun didn't come, he had just thrown up his Gandiva and everything else he
true,
sat down.
true.
He did all that. I mean, that was definitely, he was in mode of passion at that
हाँ,
time.
right, just like us.
This particular incident, of course, let's see, like being a devotee, now we are practicing devotion, right? We are not, still we are, we cannot say that we are on transcendental platform. Maybe sometimes we come in we become transcendental, and most of the time we are under the clutches of the three modes of
With your
material nature.
permission, may I add
Ah.
something? When we started, this entire chapter is based on Sankhya Darshan, which is Prakriti and Purush. And Prakriti is basically something, like you said, nothing arises from nothing and something arises from something. So Prakriti में तीन भाव, रजोगुण, तमोगुण और सतोगुण है, which is universal presence of darkness, bright luminous thing and darkness सबको पता है जो, और प्रकृति बनती इन तीनों से ही है. और ये प्रकृति को बनाने वाला कौन, लेकिन ये अपना आप में नहीं बन पाती, जुड़ती नहीं है. ये बनाने वाला उपादान कारण जिसको हम ईश्वर कहते हैं, क्रिएटर, भगवान. इसमें जब कॉन्शियसनेस पुरुष जुड़ता है, और पुरुष और कॉन्शियसनेस मिलियंस एंड मिलियंस ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस, जिसे हम ब्रह्मन कहते हैं. जैसे आपने पूछा था कैसे एक नहीं, मिलियंस एंड मिलियंस जितने हैं सोल, उतने सोल घूम रहे हैं कॉन्शियसनेस. और ये कॉन्शियसनेस जब अहंकार से जुड़ता है तो मैं बनता हूँ, आप बने, मैं बने, तुम बने, सब. और कॉन्शियसनेस अनुभव करना चाहती है, लेकिन प्रकृति इस मटेरियल उसके बिना वो अनुभव नहीं कर सकती. तो प्रकृति जड़ है, कॉन्शियसनेस चेतन है, और इनको मिलना ही है, तभी ये अनुभव करके यहाँ पे ये हम जो मटेरियल ये नेचर का है. तो अर्जुन भी was a composite of रजोगुण, तमोगुण and वो, and the entire thing was plan of Krishna. क्योंकि अभिमन्यु was called on earth for mere 16 years. चंद्रमा के भी पुत्र थे. 16 years का उन्होंने जब मांगा कृष्ण ने कि he needs and he has a work on earth to do, because अर्जुन तब भी अपने पूरे उससे नहीं लड़ रहे थे. तो अभिमन्यु was the drive to put him in the, तो जब उनका वो होता है, that made him that rose him.
That might be an
was a
impetus.
desire.
That
हाँ.
might be a driving force. But the question here, what
तो
Rajiv Prabhu is asking
entire
about.
thing was, तो वो तो प्रेजेंस, जब आपका मनुष्य जन्म है तो वो आप गुणों से भाग ही नहीं सकते.
Point here, what he is asking.
नहीं हो
I mean,
सकता, नहीं
no,
हो
no.
सकता. You are never a सत्वगुण
Understand.
thing. You are never a वो. दुर्वासा भी तमोगुण में आते थे जब वो करते थे. मनुष्य अगर हाथ
Simple difference, just try to understand. Maybe, because that's what I am giving this example. Because externally judging will be very, very difficult. But one, maybe somebody at that particular time, specific time, he is not on transcendental platform. Particular mode is driving. That is always possible. That's what I gave you example. Maybe we are, but one who is liberated state. It's not that sometimes he is conditioned or liberated. Once you are really, because right now there's a fluctuation. Sometimes we are in mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, sometimes even pure goodness for the time being. No?
हाँ.
That is always there at initial stages. But somebody who is, I'm talking about different level is always there. Like in bhakti also, it's not that the moment we started the process, we all come to the same stage. There are different stages, right? So of course, Arjuna, because if you see throughout Bhagavad Gita, he is representing us. He is representing us. Originally, actually being a friend, very close to Krishna, he was always on transcendental platform. But from the very beginning, he is representing, he is showing himself as ignorant person. He was never ignorant. He is Gunatita. Krishna knows about it. But because he is playing a role, and you're right that yes, maybe at that particular time he was in particular mode, influenced with. But the learning for us here, somebody who is on transcendental platform, what I was explaining, that even person, somebody on transcendental platform, liberated state, will show anger or will give some kind of expression which may externally seems like, oh, he's very angry person, he is doing like this or
उस
like
तरह की
that.
स्थिति आएगी तो कोई भी
इसी में जो
इंसान होगा ट्रांसेंडेंटल में वो वैसा कर लेगा, उससे हो जाएगा, या जो भी गुस्सा आता है.
That is again under the clutch. That's what the difference I'm talking about. Somebody who is very advanced or who is on transcendental platform, so his anger, because his emotions will not control him. He controls emotions for the service of Krishna. That is the difference what I want to say. Means that's why I'm giving the example of Hanuman. He was utilizing his anger for the service of the Lord. So this is called transcendental anger. And the anger which is not transcendental, we will be controlled. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama. And what will be the result of that kind of anger? Krishna had already explained. Sammoha, we will be bewildered. Smriti vibhrama, our memory will be lost. Smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho, our intelligence, decision making power will be lost. And there will be just complete havoc in life. So this anger is what mode of passion or mode of ignorance, not mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So the point here we were discussing or trying to understand that yes, even on transcendental platform, different emotions will be there. Krishna is transcendental, Krishna is spiritual. We see all the emotions are there, right?
All emotion do not register to Rajogun or Tamogun. That is a different aspect. Anger cannot always be put into the Tamogun. और लिबरेटेड सोल जो होते हैं वो सरेंडर, जैसे आपने पूछा था सरेंडर, तो लिबरेटेड वो हम में से बहुत हर एक अलग अलग लेवल में, जैसे प्रभु जितने भी प्रभु जी होते हैं वो होते हैं स्वामी होते हैं, उनको कभी भी वी डू नॉट एवर क्रिमेट, क्योंकि उनका जो चेतन है, जो कॉन्शियसनेस है, वो ऑलरेडी लिबरेटेड सोल है. वो जैसे मृत्यु, जब मृत्यु हुई तो प्रकृति पुरुष से वो अलग होना, और हम लोगों को क्यों करती है दैट फायर रिलीजेस दैट चेतना, वो सोल छोड़ना ही नहीं चाहता अनुभव को, और प्रकृति वो दैट बॉन्डेज. तो इसीलिए जो लिबरेटेड होते हैं उन्हें समाधि में डाला जाता है, और हम जैसे तुच्छ जो होते हैं, जो अभी भी सरेंडर नहीं कर पाए, अभी भी हमारा वो अट्रैक्शन नहीं है, तो हम उसे अग्नि में, जो अग्नि उसको रिलीज करेगी अल्टीमेटली. तो वो लिबरेटेड बहुत अभी भी है.
Anyway, so these are all other details, liberated, and that is what the process we are following, and our objective is to become liberated. In this chapter we will learn how to, first of all, we are learning, understanding what these three modes of material nature is. So understanding this is important. And how somebody is acting or behaving in a specific modes. Somebody in mode of goodness, what is his thinking process? What is his eating or whatever different behavior patterns, life patterns, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So this understanding we must have. And now, based on those habits, behavior, symptoms in life, now we should try to elevate. Elevate means, this is what called habits, reprogramming our habits. So now we should try to be at least in mode of goodness. That is what we are learning from this chapter. So mode of goodness means it's good, it's illuminating, and it develops, helps us to develop knowledge, and from here we can transcend to pure goodness. So that is Vishuddha Sattva, and that is transcendental state. And of course, transcendental state is not easy immediately. We cannot. So two things required to get this. Number one is our effort, conscious effort, and mercy. Without mercy of Guru and Krishna, becoming transcendental to the material modes is very, very difficult. It's not possible. So our effort is limited, but with the mercy of Guru and Krishna, we can achieve that transcendental state. And what are the symptoms? How does somebody behave? This is what the three questions Arjuna is going to ask. No, in this chapter only. Gunatit, who is Gunatit? What is his behavior? What are the qualities? So we will understand everything. And so as of now, today, yes. So 13th shloka. Let me just complete this. How much time do we have now? So, yeah, we will do discussion about it. Aprakasho apravittischa pramado moha evacha tamasyetani jayante vivriddhe kurunandana. So the 13th verse. When there is an increase in the mode of ignorance, O son of Kuru, darkness, inertia, madness and illusion are manifested. So these are the different characteristics we are learning from the in specific modes. So these are the characteristics of mode of ignorance. When there is no illumination, knowledge is absent. Means where there is no lightness, there is darkness. One in the mode of ignorance does not work by a regulative principle. Means he wants to act whimsically for no purpose. There is no rules, regulations. There is no regulation in life. Whimsically, whenever, whatever is coming in my mind. And you will see people of this kind, this thought process, they see that I am the king of my mind. I am the master of my mind. Whatever comes to my mind, I just do that. So they think they are the master. They are not the master. They are being controlled by their mind. They are not the master. Master means, if you are master of your mind, master of your senses, means you are Goswami. Goswami means master of the senses, master of the mind. Means you can control your emotions, you can control your mind and senses as per need to fulfill your purpose. So like ignorant people or people in mode of ignorance, even they do not know the purpose. Right? Without purpose, without meaning, meaningless life that is. Even though he has the capacity to work, he makes no endeavor. So this is called illusion. Maybe capable enough, but lazy, not ready to do that. So although consciousness is going on, life is inactive. So what is the use of such life? Body is life, but without any purpose or without any, if somebody is not leading a meaningful life, that is inactive, that is dead, being dead. So these are the symptoms of one in the mode of ignorance. So now we will stop here. In next shloka onwards, we will learn what is the destination of somebody who is in mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. Where do they go after death? Very interesting subject matter. In fact, I request everyone, when you go home, you try to read the purport. So much you will get. I'm just giving you essence. When you read Prabhupada's purport, it will give you much better understanding.
You are the driving force.
And
You are the driving force जो हम लोग चलते हैं ना.
no, we all helping each other. This is the purpose, coming together. Devotees coming together means enlightening each other, helping each other. We all may have on different stages, but ultimately hearing this kind of knowledge will help us to elevate us. So today morning I was hearing one topic. I'm just, we see, this is also very important to understand. Means this knowledge, how it is going to help us practically. Let us discuss for another 10 minutes on this. How it is going to help us. One is, you can speak about, like how is it going to help me? Let us discuss. Now you know mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and different activities, behavior, habits. How is it going to help you?
We'll be more conscious now.
You will become more conscious, yes. What else? Regulate our life to elevate in mode of goodness at least. What else? Practically, how is it going to help?
We can discriminate better.
We can discriminate, decision-making power, much better. Now we have criteria to decide what to do, what not to do. And the choices defines our life. Decision, what we do. So now based on this knowledge we can decide what to accept, what not to accept. We can lead a better, healthy life. Because in mode of goodness, if we are in mode of goodness, our eatables, that will be sattvic, healthy. That is nourishing. What are the benefits? One point I will just share, that in our previous chapters we studied Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunai Karmani Sarvasa Ahankar Vimurhatma Karta Ahamiti Manyate. This is what Krishna is saying. That ultimately in this material world, whatever is happening by three modes of material nature. And out of ignorance, people not knowing about it, they think, I am the doer. I am doing it. Soul is totally different from all these things. Soul is spiritual. Sometimes people think that mind is spiritual. Understand these three things. Now we are not one. Let's say we are three personalities. One is soul, one is mind, and one is intelligence. These three personalities are there. Mind is representative of Maya, material nature. Mind is representing. Mind, nature of the mind we have studied very flickering, very powerful. Always hankering, thinking, feeling, willing. These are the activities of mind. Mind will always drag you. Different kinds of desires that is coming out of mind, right? So mind is one personality, you can say. Thinking, feeling, willing is the job of mind. Intelligence, another person. What is the duty? What is the function of intelligence? Discrimination. Deciding what is right, what is wrong. And soul is indifferent. Soul is a different personality. And our real identity, we are soul. We are soul. Right? We are not the mind. So this way, why I am giving you this exam to understand. Soul, understand this point. Soul is part and parcel of Krishna. Being part and parcel of Krishna, soul is also transcendental to all material things. Material problems, material life. Soul is totally different from this. But when the soul start thinking that I am this mind, then when the soul is attached to the material nature or to the mind, then it is being dragged. It is being dragged by the mind. Mana shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. The soul is part and parcel of Krishna, but because now the soul thinking that I am this mind, and because of that, the soul is being suffering in this material world. So now what we have to do, the first thing what we have to do, we have to know that whatever is happening, whatever in this material world, that is because of the three modes of material nature. And the mind is the representative of the three modes of material nature. But I, being soul, part and parcel of Krishna, I am transcendental to the three modes of material nature. I have no business to this. I am totally separate. It is all mind game which is happening. Somebody dishonored me, somebody spoke like this, somebody hurt, somebody disrespected me. All these are different, all these are mind game which is happening.
So ultimately it's a mind game only.
It's a mind game.
प्रभु जी तो माइंड अब सोल भी किससे माइंड के थ्रू ही लिसन ना कि दिस इज
mind is that is what I'm coming. Of course, right now in conditioned state, mind is a medium. It's a, you can say, like a medium means like a glass. If we transmit light through the glass, if it is red color light, I mean the glass color is different. The light is, we can transmit light, and whichever color of the glass is there, that will reflect. So right now the mind is in contaminated state. Mind has become representative of Maya. Like Krishna is saying, mind, it can be a friend, it can be an enemy also. The best friend and the best enemy. When he is best enemy, when he is representing Maya. When he is representing Maya, developing material desires, thinking, feeling, willing, material desire, material feeling, away from Krishna, that is enemy. That will drag the soul and make it suffer. But when it is friend, when it is following Krishna. So mind is there, but right now it is contaminated with material desire. So now the point why I was explaining these three personality, that whenever something is happening,
इसमें मन कहाँ आता है?
हाँ?
इस सब में मन कहाँ आता है? मन की स्थिति क्या है?
No, that is what mind is.
Mind is different from man.
No, that is mind. Mind is mind.
Mind is not it's the same.
It's a man.
Oh,
Man means mind.
अच्छा.
Intelligence is
Man is mind. So even further details are there, but I'm not going into that. I'm just
आप
giving.
हृदय नहीं कहते हृदय मन.
That is what I'm saying. Further details are there. Chitta,
हाँ जी.
consciousness, man. There are further details are there. Different chambers you can say. But
intelligence is from brain and mind is from heart. Like man,
that is
mind,
another question to understand. Because now if you talk about scientifically, people will say that this is right brain, left brain. So mind is subtle. It's not a gross element. Mind is subtle element. Intelligence is subtle element. This is brain. The size of the brain will not define your intelligence. Everyone has the same size of brain. Brain is physical. Intelligence is
पर हम
subtle.
कहते हैं ना माइंड तो यहाँ होता है पर दिल तो यहाँ होता है.
Again, I'm saying I'll not go into that part because that is again scientifically it will be very difficult to explain.
Okay.
But the mind is a subtle. It exists, but in a subtle form. Mind is subtle. Intelligence is subtle. What we are trying to understand that the moment we separate ourselves from the mind and intelligence, we know that we are soul. So whatever is happening, whatever reactions, whatever different thoughts coming, that is mind's business. So we always have to detach ourselves from there. Negative, positive, good, bad, whatever is suffering, joy, that is all mind's business. Sensory perception. This is something, subtle subject matter we have to understand. So this is called, Krishna is saying how we can be free from suffering, anxiety, or how we can control the mind. He is teaching two steps. One is detachment and second is practice. We have to be detached. Detached from what? Detached from this mind. Whenever something happening, give a pause and understand this is all mind's game. Sometimes he will say that, oh, so nice, this is so nice situation. And sometimes he will, oh, so bad. Something bad is happening in life, then mind will speak to you. So bad it is going. And you are being controlled, means the soul is being controlled by those emotions which mind is reflecting. Ultimately, soul is indifferent to all these things. Soul has nothing to do the happiness and suffering of this material world. Soul is always transcendental. That's why you see the yogis, saintly people, they are transcendental. So anything happening in this material world, they are not at all bewildered or disturbed by that.
पर प्रभु जी
Because
वो
they
जो
know.
सेंटली जो बहुत साधु वाधु होते हैं वो रहते भी तो अलग है
नहीं,
That's what
नहीं,
I'm saying. No,
नहीं,
not only physically.
एक एग्जांपल सिंपल योगी
हाँ.
आदित्यनाथ, he is left his family, उनके पिता मर रहे हैं, वो है, वो छोड़ के नहीं, and still he is in this material world.
Let me make it clear. Point is, it's not that becoming yogi is not only being detached with all material, whatever we have, facilities. This concept, we all have to become yogi. We all have to become saintly. That is what we are learning here. But saints, we have to develop the quality of detachment. But detachment is not rejection. Detachment is not rejection. Detachment, real detachment is understanding whom it belongs to and utilizing that for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. That is real detachment. Even a yogi, even you give up everything and go to jungle, but if you have lots of attachment, why people go to jungle? These are all external practices to develop detachment. Living a simple life, of course, that is what favorable to lead a simple life. Means leading a simple life is what to develop a kind of detachment. But understand, the point is inner detachment is more important. You can become the king of the whole world, but if you're not attached to anything, so you know that by the mercy of Krishna I have received, and I'm utilizing all those resources for my personal Krishna conscious elevation and helping others to develop Krishna consciousness. That is the utilization of the resources. In that sense, even after having everything, you will not be attached to that. If something is lost, you know that it is the nature of material world. Because everything is temporary, either people or things temporary. So why to be disturbed with that? Our goal of life is a spiritual advancement. All these situations in our life helping me to come closer to Krishna. That is what we are learning. Anything happening in life, if it is bringing us closer to Krishna, that is our real success. That is our achievement. And if you're going away from Krishna, that is the biggest loss. So, understanding all these things, why I was giving these three different personalities, like mind. So, detach yourself from mind. I am not the mind. Let the mind speak whatever saying. So, with the help of intelligence, we should control the mind. Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita. What is the intelligence? This is intelligence. We can raise intelligence with the help of Krishna's words, Bhagavad Gita teachings. Why we are getting this? The moment mind is speaking here and there, use your intelligence, means this higher authority. Take shelter of Krishna means read Bhagavad Gita, study.
बुद्धि कहते हैं ना
Buddhi. But buddhi is not only cognitive skill. Buddhi means this buddhi. What Krishna is speaking, that is knowledge, that is intelligence. What Bhagavad Gita or scripture giving us. Right? Real understanding, truth. Understanding difference between spiritual and matter. Understanding the true purpose of life. This is knowledge, this is intelligence. Intelligence is not just somebody achieved so many degrees, PhD, philosophy, or so many things they did. It's not knowledge. That is what we have very much discussed about all these things. So knowledge is understanding truth about self, truth about this material nature, the real purpose of life. Based on that, we accept favorable and we reject unfavorable. So mind, this is the business of mind, because the mind is contaminated, conditioned with the help of three modes of material nature that will drag you, suffering, joy, happiness, distress, success, failure, hatred. All these things will keep on coming in life, reflecting, but detach yourself from that. Take a pause and just understand. No, it is just the modes are working. I am not at all related to these modes. Of course, it will take time. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. We have to practice. And this practice and mercy, I said. Practice and mercy. Practice. What is the practice we can do? Regular reading of Bhagavad Gita. Hearing from saintly people, devotees. Regular chanting. Taking more shelter. More shelter. no hope, no shelter. My Lord, you are the only shelter. You are the only truth, taking more shelter and the mercy. We will experience that detachment. We will experience that transcendental stage. And as much you experience, you will develop more motivation to advance. We do not have that kind of taste as of now, and that's why we do not have motivation. Once you have that taste, you will give up everything for this one thing, because then you will understand that nothing is greater than this one thing. You will be totally liberated, free from all anxieties, stress, suffering in this material world.
Prabhuji, we have realized one thing. When we are in the session, we are totally liberated. We at different level. When we reach home, mode of all these three modes.
इसीलिए
But that because the influence is
To
more.
some extent.
We have
Maya,
interacting
the
with so many
influence is
people,
more.
and we are
lot
also
of
influenced.
And that's
इसको
why
किसी ने हमसे चिढ़ के करा तो
यही तो है we are
That's why Prabhupada has
distraction
given
coming.
us, because Maya is very strong. Mind is very, very powerful. It's difficult to defeat.
Mind is very
And that's why Prabhupada is giving us positive engagement. And if you see, sometimes if you not understand the purpose, then you will see why devotees, they are so much engaged. Our brahmachari training and everything. What is the training they are getting? The only thing, when it comes to management, or our only business is how to keep people engaged in Krishna consciousness. Because once you are free, empty mind, devil's home. So as much you can engage in Krishna consciousness, you are safe.
और आई थिंक साधु जो जंगल में चले जाते हैं वो शायद इसलिए कि लोगों से ही छुटकारा
No, all these are,
Actually,
of course,
पहला काम यही है
all the interactions
all these are different process.
जंगल की ना
Ultimately,
Senses are
एक छोटी सी स्टोरी है
हाँ.
जनक महाराज की ना,
हाँ,
तो वो उनको विधेय कहते थे कि ही वाज टोटली लिबरेटेड सोल, पर राजा थे वो, तो एक साधु ऐसे उनके पास आता है कि ये कैसे हैं, मतलब कैसे, सो ही लिव्स विद देम एंड ही सीज हिम एंजॉयिंग एवरीथिंग, ही सेज कि तुम कैसे लिबरेटेड सोल हो, तुम तो एंजॉय करो, उसने बोला चल कल सुबह बताऊंगा तुझे।
हाँ,
तो अगले दिन सुबह वो कहते हैं चलो नदी पे नहाने जाते हैं, नदी पे नहाने जाते हैं तो एक सेवक भागवत आ गया था कि आपके महल में आग लग गई, जनक कहते हैं चलो कोई बात नहीं नहा लेते हैं, फिर दूसरा भगत आता है अगले कमरे तक आग पहुंच गई, कहते कोई बात नहीं आग लगने दो, तीसरा आता है कि जी वो तो कमरे तक आ गई आग, तो वो तो नहाते साधु दौड़ता है, कहता तेरे महल में तो पता नहीं मेरा लंगोट जल जाएगा।
example,
उसका attachment, तो मतलब कि आप उसमें रहते हुए डिटैचमेंट, वो मैं
that is what we learn in
Yes,
Bhagavad Gita.
yes,
Na?
तभी तो मेरा वो सब मेरा अपना
Being
मैं तो महल से
sitting
attachment
in
करूँ,
your
उससे भी attachment
house,
नहीं
sitting in your house, you can become liberated.
Yes.
So many examples, beautiful example. I mean, even from Ramanujacharya's life, there is a similar kind of example. The brahmacharis or the disciples of Ramanujacharya, they became envious of something. Some not means one of the grihastha, the family person, and he was very close to Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya, he was giving more attention to him, and so the other sannyasi disciples, they became envious. Oh, why he is grihastha, family person, and our guru is so much attached to him, giving so much time, so much. So one day, and understanding this, Ramanujacharya just gave one exercise. Okay, one day what he did, the clothes, the dhoti and whatever, were there, and he just replaced it in different places, and little bit he just teared it up. So next day he could see all the sannyasis, they were fighting. Who did it? They were fighting. They were fighting for their gamsha, for their dhoti. Oh, somebody replaced it. And then Ramanujacharya, he said, because he said, okay, do one thing, and today just go at his place, at his home. He is not here today. He's traveling. His wife is there, and you do one thing. You steal all the golds there, from there. So the brahmacharis or sannyasis, they were very happy. Okay, today is the day. Let's do it. So that night, just few of the sannyas, brahmacharis, they went there, and they were trying to steal everything. Just very cautiously, they just went inside the room and started stealing. And finally, they could see some gold. The wife, she was wearing some gold chain and everything. So they were trying to steal that also. So one side, very cautiously, they could remove it and take it. But the wife, she got aware about it. She was aware. She could see that, okay, the disciple, they have come. And she started thinking that maybe our spiritual master, he is in need of money, and that's why they have come over here. So let me turn another side so that they can steal other one also. So that was her mood. And when she turned, and all of a sudden they got feared and they just escaped the place. They left the place. So next day, when Ramanujacharya asked, what happened? Next day, sorry, Ramanujacharya, he said, now you go next day morning and see what is happening over there. So next day morning, the same brahmacharis, they went to the place and they could see that disciple and the wife, they were discussing. And the wife, everything she was explaining that maybe my spiritual master, he is in need of money, and I could see the disciples last night they came and they were stealing gold. And unfortunately, because I was just thinking that they need more wealth, so I turned aside, and then, but out of fear, they just left the place. And that disciple, his name was Dhanurdhar, and he was chastising his wife. You are so proud, you can give, and why you change the side? They could have done it that way. He was chastising his wife. So
प्रभु जी, ये
seeing
धनुर्धर
this-
वही वाले हैं कि जिनका वो आसक्ति जिस लेडी में हो जाती
the
है,
same
ये
personality, the
है।
same personality. So this is a beautiful story behind.
Wow.
Before he was very much attached to women. He was very much attached to his wife. But after meeting Ramanujacharya and Ramanujacharya, that I will show you something, because he was so much attached. Let me complete this story, because one day there was a procession and everybody was looking the beautiful form of the Lord. And this Dhanurdhar, he was just always looking into the eyes of his wife. And Ramanujacharya, he said, who is this person? People are so much absorbed in seeing the beauty of Lord, and he is just constantly, he is gazing, he is just seeing the beauty of his wife. So he said, I don't see anything more beautiful than my wife eyes. So he said, okay, next morning you come to me, I will show you something more beautiful than that. So he invited him to Srirangam, that temple, Sriranganathji, and seeing the Lord face, beautiful eyes, he got so much attached to the Lord. He was detached to all the material attraction, and became such a nice disciple, such a great disciple. The same story is going on. He was so much close to Ramanujacharya, and other brahmacharis, they became envious, and just to show them how advanced he is. So this story, again, giving the same essence, learning. It's not that it's not just external detachment. This Krishna conscious process is for internal detachment. Right? So though he was in a family life, he was having so much, but he was totally detached. But the sannyasis, they were externally so much detached, but they were fighting for their towel. So the real detachment is detachment from heart and utilizing everything in service of Krishna. That is real detachment. That is what we are learning in Krishna consciousness. So yes, we have to always engage ourselves. Otherwise, this Maya is very, very powerful. Through mind, it will drag us and it will keep us always in anxiety and stress. But devotees are Brahma Bhut Prasannatma Nashochati Nirpavishati. Devotees are liberated. They're always happy. They are not dragged by the duality of this world, happiness, distress. Everything is happening, no issues. I'm always close to Krishna. Let it go on. Means, yeah, practically, externally, I will not say that just be lazy or don't do anything. But don't be attached to situations. Don't disturb your spiritual journey. To manage whatever is required, you can do. Whatever action is required, you can do. Right? So this is very important to understand. Somebody is suffering, we cannot say that, oh, just because of his karmic reaction, he is suffering. Let him suffer. Not like that. We have to be sensitive enough. We know the philosophy. At the same time, whatever our duty is there, we should do that. At the same time, we should know the reality behind it. We should help the people. So let's, this is good, nice chapter. Practice. Let's practice this knowledge so that unnecessarily we should not be disturbed with small things in this material world. Continuously navigating the challenges of this life, just go on with your spiritual journey, achieve the perfection of life, so that we should not get another birth to suffer disease, death, old age. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.